Hi, Dennis with CFOs on the Go. Probably getting tired of hearing my voice. Video number 5 in the series for the test drive. So today we're going to look at vendors and purchasing. So again, please remember that you got that help screen anytime you want it right there. So I'm just going to set up a new vendor today. Real simple test drive. Not much originality, but it works. And so then I can set up what kind of vendor is this? I was going to say it's a rough hardware. And again, I can add and change the types of vendors when I see that arrow right there. I can change things. Who's the owner? It's Dennis. A bunch of address. Is he a minority? It'd be nice to know. Keep that information. Contact information at the bottom. Next tab, financial, federal ID, state ID, what their account number is, 1099. What are the due terms? What are the discount terms if there are any? If this is always material, I can have it default to GL code. And if it's always going to go to cost code rough hardware and it's always going to be material, I can have all that defaulted in. And then we'll just make this always go into open. And we want to warn if there's no PO, okay? So I can set these. So every time I key this vendor in, it's going to default all this information, so I don't have to key it, okay? Again, some more contact information, some other defaults there. And then if some vendors now are requiring a payment by ACH, like a direct deposit, we have the capability of doing that as well. Okay, so hopefully I filled everything that I needed to. I did. So if I come in here and I go to Peterson, across the bottom you'll see a bunch of tabs. At any point for vendor, I can see every subcontract I have with them, all the open POs. Again, I picked a vendor with none, but that's okay. You get the idea. What PO has been closed, open invoices, paid invoices, what payments, and then certificates. Is their GL up to date? Is their umbrella up to date? Again, and the system will warn us when those things go out of date. And so, you know what? I haven't shown this yet. So right here, there's a little query button right here. So if I want to see all of my vendors with a tax district for some reason, I don't know why, but I created that. I can look at vendor types, what state I want to look at, but I'm just going to run everything in here. And then, here's all my office supplies, and this is their tax district. Here's all my phone services. And so these queries are really easy to write. I probably should do a video on that for you as well. I'll add that to the list. So that vendor's set up. So now what do we got to do? Now we got to pay the bills, right? We've been working on a project, and here comes the bill. So not much different than any other accounting system. I have an invoice number from the vendor. If I had a PO number, I could enter it in here. Let me just see if there's one in here. So hang on a second. Let's see what happens when I do this one. So I just typed in that PO. It knew who the vendor was. It knew what job it was. And it knew what I bought. And the description's purchase order. So as I come through here now, since it knows the vendor and I put my defaults in, actually I'll put in today's date, 04/18/17. Okay. Put the discount date in. Well, I set up really good terms for this guy. I got to pay it the next day. I probably didn't have terms with this guy. That's why I didn't come in. Status. And once this is done, as soon as I save this, it's now in accounts payable and it's been job costed. Okay. So that is in the system. And yes, I do want to save those changes. Yes. Okay. That's okay. You get the idea. Once it's saved, it warns you if you don't have the right stuff in there. So now I've got invoices in there. What do I want to do now? Now it's time to go pay some people, right? Vendor payments. Not much different in your QuickBooks or other programs you're using, okay? I can select certain vendors. I can select jobs if I pay when I'm paid. I can just select certain jobs. In this case, I'm going to sort this by vendor. Actually, I'm going to sort it by vendor and then job. Actually, I changed my mind. Job and then vendor, okay? So here's all my invoices that are open. And by the way, all of these people have expired insurance, so they are not even in the selection process. It automatically takes those out. And so if I open this up, no different than other things. I want to pay, whoops. I want to pay this one, this one, this one, this one. I'm not going to pay these three. On this guy, I'm only going to pay him 990. I'm not going to pay him the 19. So I can do something like that. I'll save this. I've now selected what I want to pay. Now I'm going to go pay the vendors. And I come in here and select, I'll select all. Notice this hyperlink down here, print lien waivers. So I have all 4 versions of the lien waiver in here. I think there's a sample. Yep, so I'll blow this up a little bit. So there's a lien waiver that we print out to go out with the checks. Or print those, send them out, get them back, send the checks. A lot of people do it differently. I can print the check transmittals. I can pay by check, or I can pay by credit card, or I can pay by ACH payment. So at this point, I decide how I want to pay those. I've now paid my vendors. Everybody's happy. And so AP is not a big deal. You need an invoice number. If you have a PO, it makes it a lot easier. Or a subcontract makes it a lot easier. Have the vendors set up there with their defaults. It makes it even easier again. So that's AP in a nutshell. I went over by a minute, but I guess that's okay. Anyway, Dennis, company CFOs on the go. You're probably tired of hearing that, but here's the gum number again, 800-659-5851. Thanks for listening.